in session. The Honorable Anna M. Laurie, Kitsap County Superior Court, and the Honorable Jim Dixon, Thurston County Superior Court, presiding. Sitting en banc from the Washington State Supreme Court, Justice Charles K. Wiggins. From the Superior Court of Kitsap, Judge M. Carlin Haberlin, Judge Leila Mills, Judge Jeanette Dalton, Judge Kevin D. Hall, Judge Leonard W. Costello, retired, Judge Russell W. Hartman, retired. From the Kitsap County District Court, Judge James M. Rio, Judge Marilyn G. Peja, Judge Stephen J. Holman, Judge Jeffrey J. Jans. From the Bremerton Municipal Court, Judge James Doctor.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Well, this is the most people I've seen in this courtroom in about 100 years. If any of you in the back want to scoot across, there might be more room for you there, but I'm not certain. If there's anybody out there who really feels the need to come in, I think you're probably out of luck. On behalf of the Kitsap County Superior Court bench, I welcome the distinguished jurists, the members of the bar, and the friends and family of soon-to-be Judge Stephen B. Dixon. I especially want to welcome two guests. First is Judge-to-be Dixon's mother, Marlene. Ms. Dixon, welcome from everybody. A little note about Ms. Dixon. Apparently she has flown twice in her life. The first time for her Judge Jim Dixon's swearing in on March 22nd, and the second for today's event for her elder son, Stephen Dixon. And that brings me to my other special guest I'd like to welcome, which is the Honorable Jim Dixon of Thurston County Superior Court, who's seated up here with me. For those of you who don't know, he is the brother of our soon-to-be Judge Steve Dixon. As the presiding judge of the Kitsap County Superior Court, I have the honor of setting the theme and the tone for today's ceremony. I suggest the following thought. There is no guarantee of justice except the personality of the judge. Our laws are plentiful. We are governed by two different constitutions, one from the federal government and one from the state government. There are 6 full-size volumes of unannotated statutes that bind us. There are almost an equal amount of regulations that we live by. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of appellate decisions and Supreme Court decisions that guide or suggest or dictate the correct application of those other laws. Into that maelstrom comes a single judge. That judge is tasked with listening to the facts of the case and applying one of those laws to come up with a just result. Skilled and not so skilled lawyers present cases. Self-represented litigants often come into court with boxes of receipts and a heartfelt belief in the righteousness of their position. Justice doesn't happen in a vacuum. It takes a judge who is willing to listen to what the people in front of him or her are saying. It takes a judge who is willing to do the hard work of identifying which law out of the hundreds that we are faced with is pertinent in this case. And it takes a judge who's willing to make the right decision regardless of public pressure, TV cameras, or newspaper reporters. So I suggest to you again, there is no guarantee of justice except the personality of the judge. The people of Kitsap County, the people of the state of Washington, will be guaranteed justice by the personality of Stephen B. Dixon. I welcome him to our bench. We're going to hear from a variety of speakers today, and the first that I want to welcome is Ms. Jennifer Forbes on behalf of the Kitsap County Bar Association. She is our bar president. Ms. Forbes?
Good morning, everyone. Obviously, I stand here as a proud fellow alumni of Whitman College. As a fighting missionary at Whitman College, I think it's important that I talk a little bit about the history of Whitman College. Whitman College was named after Marcus and Narcissa Whitman, who were two missionaries who were actually massacred in 1847 by the Cayuse tribe, hence the fighting missionaries. As fighting missionaries, we need to be on alert to danger at all times. So for just a few minutes, if you'd indulge me, I'd like to speak to the future Judge Dixon about some of the dangers he might encounter on the bench. First, there are 4 huskies on the bench. While they appear friendly and fuzzy and adorable dogs, they are tenacious. We also have one over here. We also have a University of Houston cougar on the bench. That would be Judge Roof, who's not able to be here this morning. But more alarmingly, we have an Aztec on the bench. And I think in light of the history of the fighting missionaries, I'd be more careful of Judge Holden anyway. But there is some hope on our bench. Among some of the friends you might encounter, we have an Aggie, which stands for agriculturalists. Well, I think will be a friendly asset to a fighting missionary. But finally, and I think I wish that Commissioner Lowens was here. As a graduate of Dartmouth, he could tell you that there are no actual official mascots of Dartmouth, but fortunately there are a number of unofficial mascots. My favorite among them being Kagi the Keg. But on a more serious note, I've not personally had many cases with Judge Dixon, so I took some polls from some other people who've had a lot of cases with him. Unfortunately, I didn't have that honor. I've had maybe a couple of very minor cases, and they've been quick and well handled by Mr. Dixon. But these are some of the things that people have told me about Judge Dixon, who've had a lot more experience with him on a daily basis. First, he's extremely intelligent. One person said he's the smartest lawyer they've ever known. The other is, somebody said he has no BS. He's to the point, he says what he means, and you know what he means. He's very thorough and well prepared. He's helpful and giving, always willing to give advice to other lawyers. It might be a little more difficult from the bench, but I think that means that when he has young lawyers or inexperienced lawyers standing in front of him, he's going to have patience with them. He's fair, which obviously is a really important asset for anybody who's taking the bench. Another important asset is that he's completely unprejudiced when it comes to people. He doesn't judge people based on how they look, their quirks, or other surface characteristics. He's also extremely honest. And more importantly for me, as I stand here today, dressed in my Whitman garb, apparently he's funny, has a sense of humor, which I'm sincerely hoping is true. It's very clear that our court has gained a judge who will serve our community well. And I wish you all the best of luck, Judge Dixon, and congratulations. And more importantly, go fighting missionaries.
Friends and family, I direct your attention now to Mr. Andrew Becker, who is going to present Mr. Dixon to the bench. Mr. Becker?
May it please the court, Your Honor, Judge Lori, Judge Dixon, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate Judge Lori mentioning Marlene Dixon. this whole first row is and part of the second row, is part of the Dixon clan. There were 5 brothers and 1 daughter. And it's just such a great day, such a happy day. And the Dixons are really standing tall. I also want to mention Cedar and Jordan, but all the brothers and the sister, and of course Marlene. And I can guarantee you that your husband is with us today. Churchill said, "Make your words short." So I'm going to do that for Marlene's benefit and Steve's benefit. It was nice to hear Jennifer list the attributes of Steve Dixon, who so many of us know so well, and all of what she said was true. But the one attribute that I would make a theme for this swearing in is the attribute of toil, hard work, and sacrifice. If we think about Mr. Dixon, we think, what a great orator, how brilliant, how to the point, how knowledgeable. I have a recollection, and I ask you to think about your first recollection of Steve. My recollection is actually in this courtroom. Judge Hanley was sitting where Judge Rory is today. It was about 1984, 1985. I didn't know Steve Dixon. I didn't know his name. I'd never met him. I was a young lawyer. I was appearing on an afternoon calendar. And I walked in, sat probably where Sue's sitting,